Teacher education is critical to the future of our country, the future of our state, because it is really the way in which we create the context in which kids can all learn.
Welcome to Impact, Preparing Effective Teachers for Urban Schools. I'm Anna Marie Francois, Director of UCLA Center X. In this series on the Impact program, we will learn how to prepare new teachers by placing apprentices in urban classrooms alongside mentor teachers. In our first show, we'll present an overview of the Impact program.
UCLA Impact is an 18-month residency program funded by the U.S. Department of Education to prepare math, science, and early childhood educators to work in our neediest urban schools. American schools are losing some of their best teachers at an alarming rate. Half of all urban public school teachers leave their schools within the first 3 years. To help combat this problem, the U.S. Department of Education invested $43 million in 28 programs across the country that are rethinking and reshaping teacher preparation for hard-to-staff schools and subject areas. UCLA Impact is one of these innovative programs.
The Teacher Quality Partnership Grant Program was authorized with the 2009 reauthorization of the Higher Education Act. It's housed in the Office of Innovation and Improvement at the U.S. Department of Education. These grants are designed to improve student achievement through reforming teacher preparation programs.
The goal of the Teacher Quality Partnership Program, that's an initiative of the U.S. Department of Education, is to combine a sort of triumvirate of partners to ensure that there is that quality education and quality teaching going on in our schools. And that's a combination of a school district, in this case Los Angeles Unified School District, a university, in this case UCLA Center X, and a community partner, in this case the Center for Powerful Public Schools.
The mission of Center X is to partner with schools and districts and communities to transform public schooling. It was created after the Rodney King uprisings to really participate in our communities around schooling, and that we couldn't sit here on the west side and ignore what was going on in our city. So we were created to work with schools and teachers and districts to make schools equitable places of learning for all children.
LAUSD is very proud to be an active partner in this work. We've taken the partnership very seriously. We're in daily ongoing conversations about the use of pedagogy in our classrooms, the give and take that occurs between the teacher and the master teacher, the administrator at the school site, and support provided by central office. So we look at this as a seamless process. We don't consider it to be a university working with the district, but one group of committed individuals working for the greater good of educating our students.
The role of the Center for Powerful Public Schools in the UCLA Impact program is to establish the school sites and the mentors that the pre-service apprentices are actually placed at. So we are the connector to schools that have exemplary practice within the Los Angeles Unified School District.
150 years ago, the idea that revolutionized medicine the world over was first developed. The idea of an internship model where the nexus between the basic research, the practice, as mediated between more advanced learners and more novice learners, transform the world. The idea of the teaching hospital, in a way, emerged as an idea where, through the internship mechanism, these modes of learning would be systematized, and the synergies that are created in that context can prove to be very, very powerful.
You have to be able to do it in practice. It's not enough to know it by reading a book. And so we need to have excellent places for teachers to see good practice, to try out what they're learning with guidance, with supervision, just like doctors do in their internships and residencies.
The goal of the UCLA Impact Program is to prepare highly qualified community teachers and urban school teacher leaders through a residency program that couples apprentices with a master teacher, which we call mentors, and they work alongside one another in a gradual release co-teaching experience for a full year. The idea behind the residency model is that the students are learning on the job.
The UCLA Impact Urban Teacher Residency Program is an opportunity for training teachers who are doing their student teaching to come into a classroom not just for a short time period, but to really become part of the classroom as a year-long teaching experience.
I really appreciate the fact that UCLA has this residency program built into it. The fact that I get to, from the very first day, come into the classroom and then stay with the same students throughout the year has been invaluable, I believe, to me. The way I was teaching in October has definitely changed to how I'm teaching now. And so in a sense, I feel like I've already had my first year of teaching.
Giving them much more time to observe, to be weaned into the teaching role in the class, to co-teach. I think that just builds their skills a lot more successfully than you observe for 8 weeks and then boom, you have to take over a class. And it's a lot better for the students as well, because students are often resistant if they have one teacher for a certain amount of time and then all of a sudden this young person who's learning takes over and may or may not be skilled, whereas when they start the class with that person as a co-teacher, as a support person, they see them as an integral part of the class, and I think that makes the transition so much smoother.
Student teachers see examples of excellence or examples of good teaching. So if you believe that it's possible, it's one thing, but to see that it's possible is another thing. And if you match these teachers, student teachers that is, with model teachers, and you begin to have them to work firsthand with them, they can see how these teachers develop the skills that they have, what they do when they have difficult students, how they help students who might be low performers, and how they might help students who are language learners. So to see it and to model it and then to be able to try it and get feedback, we think is an important model to have.
All of the mentors that I've had experience working with have been amazing and really enriching my teaching skills. I've learned so much from each one, a new skill set from each mentor. Watching them teach and having the opportunity to teach in their classroom with their guidance has been really beneficial to me. In this placement particularly, I've been really able to integrate my own practices. Caesar's been really open to letting me try out the things I'm learning in the classroom, or if I have an idea, and he'll let me try it out and see how it works. Remember, like 2 weeks ago I did my lessons on the 5 senses. What do you think of adding some sensory experiences to the tortilla factory lesson?
Oh yeah, that would be great. We're gonna have a taste table.
We can do a taste table, right?
Taste table, and we're gonna have also
like a touch
sensory.
A touch table.
Touch table, yes.
Okay, so a touch table.
The biggest part of my role as an impact mentor takes place sort of behind the scenes, and that's really with the planning and planning practices and reflecting practices. So how did the lesson go? What are some things that you might want to do differently? To not necessarily offer up solutions to that, but to help the apprentice come to their own conclusion. How do you think today's lesson went?
I think the lesson went pretty well. Most of the students seemed to be engaged, and a lot of them seem to have a lot of good ideas about what to do with the project. I think the Jot Thoughts activity went especially well because they knew how to do the activity, so they were able to actually use it to brainstorm ideas.
Mm-hmm. And so do you feel like all the kids were able to have a pretty solid idea of what they wanted for the outcome of the project?
And through that, you're able to make mistakes